Hey, this is Brooke, functional medicine dietitian specializing in fertility, and this is the Fertility Dietitian Podcast, where I help you uncover the barriers that are preventing you from optimizing your fertility and teach you how to work with your body to finally take home a healthy baby. Each week, I will be diving into different topics on fertility and sharing my perspective on physiology, metabolic health, nutrition, and lifestyle approaches that have helped hundreds of couples get pregnant even after years of heartache. My goal is to empower you with the knowledge you need to take back control of your fertility. Happy listening. Welcome back to the Fertility Dietitian Podcast. Today, we're diving into a topic I get asked about often: what to do after coming off of birth control to support fertility and hormone balance and just overall health. Whether you've been actively trying to conceive, planning for a baby, or you're currently planning for a baby, or maybe you're thinking about babies a few years out, you want to listen into this episode and file it away for future reference. But there's a lot of things you can start working on now, even before you come off of birth control. Because here's the truth: fertility doesn't start when you get a positive pregnancy test. It starts months and often years before conception happens. Birth control can significantly impact your nutrient status in ways that matter big time for egg quality, hormone signaling, and pregnancy outcomes. If you're new here, I'm Brooke, the fertility dietitian, a functional medicine dietitian specializing in fertility. And for nearly a decade, I've helped hundreds of couples restore their fertility by addressing root causes, getting to the bottom of what is best for their body when it comes to nutrition and gut health and hormones, detox pathways, and cellular health. So let's talk about what birth control depletes, why it matters, and how to intentionally rebuild your body either after coming off of birth control or while you're coming off of birth control. This preconception nutrition really matters, even if you're not trying to conceive yet. If a baby is in your plans for 2026 or later, nourishing your body before pregnancy is one of the most powerful things that you can do. Supporting nutrient status preconception helps to support egg quality and mitochondrial health, regulate your hormone production and signaling. It supports your body's natural detox pathways, decreases the risk of miscarriage, particularly from chromosomal abnormalities, strengthens your immune system, which directly influences baby's immune development and even supports implantation, so time to conception. Also reduces the risk of pregnancy complications like preeclampsia and gestational diabetes and preterm birth. It even lowers the risks of abnormal fetal development, especially of the brain and the heart and the organs. And this is key. Many of these outcomes are influenced by nutrient status before you conceive, not during pregnancy, but before conception even takes place. Because when we're talking about egg quality, we have to remember that it takes a minimum of 3 to 4 months to see significant changes in egg quality. And if you've been on birth control, especially long-term birth control, no judgment. I myself was on birth control for about 15 years before coming off and learning about all of the things that I educate on today and support my clients with. So it's very depleting. It depletes the nutrients that we need to support egg quality and reproduction. So if you just come off of birth control and get pregnant, there's a lot more risk involved, and not only for nutrient status, but for things like gut health and immune system support and so on and so forth. So let's talk a little bit more about how birth control specifically impacts nutrient status. It doesn't just pause ovulation. It impacts nutrient absorption and gut health and liver detox pathways, mineral balance, which is so significant for mitochondrial health, and thyroid balance and blood sugar balance. It also impacts inflammation and oxidative stress as well. Research is consistently showing that birth control is associated with lower levels of key fertility nutrients, including folate and B6 and B12. These are nutrients that are heavily involved in the DNA programming of an egg. So that quality of the egg is reliant in some capacity to these nutrients here. Zinc and magnesium and selenium, vitamin C and vitamin E are all depleted also. And these nutrients are not just nice to have, they are non-negotiable for DNA synthesis and proper egg maturation, chromosomal integrity, hormone metabolism, and healthy ovulation. So when it comes to coming off of birth control and immediately trying to conceive without repleting nutrients, we often see irregular cycles, delayed ovulation, luteal phase issues, poor egg quality, increased inflammation, and higher miscarriage risk. This doesn't mean that birth control was bad, but it does mean that your body deserves intentional support afterwards. The most important fertility nutrients to replete after birth control include folate. So folate, not folic acid. There's a very important distinction. Folic acid is a synthetic version of folate. We want folate because it's easier for our bodies to use. It's less likely to get stuck in metabolic pathways and create inflammation and additional side effects. So folate is critical for DNA replication, egg quality, preventing neural tube defects, reducing chromosomal abnormalities as well. Birth control is known to reduce folate levels, and many women already struggle to convert this folic acid or synthetic version of folate properly. So again, folate is what you want to be including. Food sources are going to be liver and lentils, dark leafy greens, asparagus, avocado. Okay. Many women benefit from food-based folate or methylated forms, but this should always be individualized. So supplementation of folate, so the methylated folate or folinic acid even, is easier to use than our synthetic folic acid. And if you're interested in diving deeper in this topic, I will link a blog post with a lot of research and a deeper dive here. I also have a podcast episode on folate versus folic acid also. So I will link both of those so you can learn even more about that topic. Additional B vitamins like B6 and B12 are really important to replete. Also, B vitamins support ovulation, progesterone production, healthy methylation, nervous system regulation, energy production within the egg. That mitochondria, again, is going to be supported, which is supporting overall egg quality. Low B vitamins are associated with PMS, luteal phase defects, fatigue, poor egg quality as well. So food sources that we want to make sure we're getting in include grass-fed meats, eggs, seafood, liver. Nutritional yeast is supportive here too. The animal options are easier to use, more bioavailable, but nutritional yeast is still supportive as well. Magnesium and zinc are minerals that are heavily depleted by birth control and chronic stress also. And these minerals support hormone receptor sensitivity, blood sugar balance, ovulation, immune function, and sperm quality as well. Obviously, birth control is not depleting them for sperm, but hopefully you're doing this as a team if you're thinking about getting pregnant. And these nutrients are going to support the male side too. Food sources of these are going to include pumpkin seeds and oysters and red meat, cacao powder, nuts, and seeds, to name a few. And last but not least, antioxidants, especially our vitamin C and vitamin E and selenium, are depleted too. So you want to be boosting those back up. Eggs are highly sensitive to oxidative stress, and antioxidants help protect eggs from damage from oxidative stress and support healthy follicle development and improve mitochondrial efficiency. Again, that mitochondria, big part of energy support within the cells to support egg quality and overall follicle development. Food sources of these antioxidants include berries and citrus and strawberries and kiwis and mangoes, Brazil nuts, seafood, and colorful vegetables. Our vitamin C rich vegetables are going to be our broccoli and bell peppers as well. And we also get vitamin E from fats like nuts and seeds, especially. Very helpful there, especially walnuts for vitamin E. Diet alone isn't always enough, and this part is so important. Eating a nutrient-dense diet is foundational, but it's one piece of the puzzle because your body also has to digest the food properly, absorb the nutrients, transport them into the cells, activate them, and prioritize sending those nutrients to reproduction. Barriers I commonly see post-birth control include poor gut health, low stomach acid, dysbiosis, sluggish liver detox, chronic inflammation, high stress, or overall cortisol dysregulation. This is actually part of birth control and its side effects also. So when these are present, nutrients may be poorly absorbed, shunted toward inflammation because your body's always trying to protect itself, and reproduction is kind of the last place it's going to send resources, or used up for stress response, and also be stored instead of utilized. And this means fertility becomes deprioritized, even if you're trying to do everything right with nutrition. So we want to make sure that we're supporting the gut and the detox pathways after birth control. To actually use the nutrients for fertility, we have to support the integrity of the gut, the liver detox pathways, bile flow, and regular elimination in the form of bowel movements. How to do this includes adding these simple foundational steps of eating enough protein, prioritizing bitter foods. These are going to be like your arugula and your vinegars and even like your artichokes. Cranberries are another good bitter food option too. Citrus in water, also supportive. Supporting daily bowel movement, so getting adequate fiber in your diet, and hydration is also really supportive. Balancing blood sugar, so eating regularly, starting with that breakfast in the morning to break that fast, support the cortisol response, support that blood sugar balance for the day. Reduce inflammatory inputs, reducing toxic load or toxin burden is a big part of reducing inflammation internally. Have previous podcast episodes I'll link in the show notes to get deeper into that topic. Managing stress and prioritizing sleep are also really helpful for supporting this portion of the piece of the puzzle, if you will. This is where individualized testing and support can make a really huge difference. If you're coming off of birth control and feeling impatient or frustrated or worried, hear this. Your body's not broken. It is incredibly adaptable. And with the right support, fertility can absolutely be restored. Preconception care is not about perfection. It's about creating safety and nourishment and resilience from the inside out. If you want to support rebuilding nutrient status and improving egg quality or creating a personalized fertility plan for you and your partner, I would love to help. If this episode was helpful, share it with a friend coming off of birth control, leave a review, and as always, remember that you are so worth the investment, as is your fertility. Thank you for listening to this episode of the Fertility Dietitian Podcast. If you enjoyed it, please leave a review to let me know what topics you want more of or less of. If you want to keep learning, subscribe at Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen to podcasts. Check out my website for more info on my private coaching program, Master Your Fertility, or my membership community, Fertility Blueprint. And don't forget my digital store. Come say hi on YouTube and Instagram. See you in the next episode.